Hi, I'm Jeremy Big Jeremy Koling from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're releasing a new series on Prodigy Disc Channel called Pro Tips. Today I'm going to talk about disc selection, angles of shots, and we're going to get into why I throw certain shots when I throw them. So typically when you come up to a shot and you think this is a forehand shot because it turns off to the right if you're a right-handed player. Well, that is the case for a lot of players, but based on the angle of the shot, let's say you're in the woods or there's trouble nearby, maybe out of bounds or trees that angle the shot a certain way, it might be better to throw a backhand anhyzer. I want to talk today a little bit about why I choose to go with backhand anhyzer or sidearm hyzer based on what's around me. Here I have a Prodigy D1. It's an overstable driver, and when I throw it sidearm out flat, I expected the hyzer back to the basket here behind this post. Now it's nice and all for an open shot, but sometimes you need the disc to come in with a glide flat, and so that you're landing flat on the slope as opposed to hyzering down, which could skip away. It's important to keep in mind that with a hyzer, the disc is trying to get to the ground and doesn't have as much carry as a backhand anhyzer, which is flattening out and fighting against its natural flight characteristics. That gives you a lot more glide sometimes going around a corner. If you're trying to throw a forehand, you can only go so far before the disc is cutting down to the earth. If I'm throwing for maximum distance around a corner, I'm going to think about throwing a backhand anhyzer to get the glide that I need as opposed to just making the disc do a certain shape. One of the beautiful things about disc golf is that there's no one set way to attack a hole. There's unlimited potential for creativity and coming up with different shots. And that's one of the things that's always been so interesting to me about disc golf. Take this hole for example. We're out in the open and it's 335 feet, relatively wide open. Now, a lot of players throw a big backhand hyzer. I'd probably step up here and throw a sidearm, but I'm going to show you today that it doesn't have to be just those shots. I can throw rollers, straight shot, I can throw a thumber, and there's all sorts of different ways that challenge me to attack how a disc flies and to challenge myself to figure out what kind of things I can do to make the game interesting. This is my first instinct. I got my sidearm, my D1, throw it out low, flat, skip in. I feel like I'm gonna get a birdie most of the time doing this. But it doesn't just have to be that shot. Take a thumber for instance, X1. Not the best, but still shopping. Backhand hyzer, another D1. Let's say I want to make things really interesting, and instead of take a hyzer line at all, I want to S to something that's pretty straight right at it. Again, not the best, but I'm having fun. I'm trying different things out. Take a roller with an F7. If you don't drive 100 feet past the hole, you might be a little bit better positioned to get a birdie, but at the same time, that's what I enjoy about disc golf. It's not about just throwing one type of shot. There's all sorts of different obstacles, out of bounds, trees, you know, all sorts of things, mandatories that we've got to attack those in different ways. So if I just have the forehand or if I just have the backhand, then that limits me. One of the things I really appreciate about disc golf is that I can attack holes in different ways if I just challenge myself. And I challenge you to go out and just practice different types of shots so that certain things in the course that may have been difficult are no longer as difficult. Go out to a course. If you're not comfortable with forehands, try different forehands. Not just one type of forehand. There's not just a hyzer forehand. Take something understable. Try throwing an anhyzer with an understable disc with a forehand. That opens up something that you might not have had the opportunity to throw in the past. A hyzer's wanting to get down to the ground, whereas a turnover disc with the anhyzer is going to want to glide. You get much more distance that way. Try going straight at it with the forehand. Or not. But the point is, there's a lot of different ways to make a disc go a certain distance. And if you limit yourself by only throwing one type of shot, there's going to be times when that gets exploited on the course. So find a friend, maybe go to open field by yourself, find a soccer goal or something, and try throwing backhands, putters. Throw anhyzer, straight, flat, hyzer, thumbers, quick flip. Just because I threw the slow flip, sometimes there's a need to throw something that flips a little bit quicker. That's a very handy shot in the woods. If you take an overstable disc and you throw it high in the air, you're gonna get a long, slow turn, which gives you big distance. But it's not so good sometimes in the woods. If it's tight and you have a tight little fairway, you need something that flips quick. So if you go to the field and you practice discs, you practice everything in your bag, and you give each shot different types of angles and you test yourself, it's gonna open up the course for you. It's gonna give you more options out there, and it's going to allow you to attack courses in ways that you never thought about before. So your pro tip of the day is to learn how your discs fly. Try them in ways that you might not have been normally accustomed to, and just see how things work out for you. It's going to open up the doors for many more possibilities, and you're going to have a lot more fun doing it too. This is Big Germ with Prodigy Disc, and I want to encourage you guys to go out there and have fun.